Today we discovered the 7 best and also very budget-friendly Spanish-speaking countries to visit. Stick around until the end and I'll share a surprising twist about a destination that might just change the way you look at your travel plans. Let's say you want to practice your language skills or is just attracted by the cultural and historic heritage of the countries from the former Spanish Empire. There are 21 Spanish-speaking countries in the world. When it comes to choosing one of them, it's perfectly possible to uncover hidden gems that offer not only just breathtaking views, but also immersive cultural experience and value for your money. If you check all the rankings we did in previous videos, you will see I'm not a fan of subjective rankings based on criteria like, oh, I loved Mexico because I met a very friendly waiter called Papaco there. No, this is not how we rank countries here. I prefer to use objective criteria. So these are the factors we used to rank the 7 best Spanish-speaking countries to visit. First, the number of international tourists each country receives per year. The number of international tourist arrivals per year is a good way to check the touristic infrastructure and attractiveness of a country. Second, the Numbeo Cost Index. The Numbeo Cost Index is a tool that helps travelers compare the cost of living in different cities around the world. This index also can help travelers choose a city that is within their budget. We want the best places for affordable prices. Third, the homicide rate. You may think that I got wrong here. What does the homicide rate have to do with holidays? Well, unfortunately, most Spanish-speaking countries are quite violent. Places like Venezuela and Honduras are among the most dangerous in the world, so the homicide is a filter to remove violent places. Of the 7 countries I mentioned in this ranking, only one is relatively violent, but still made it to the top 7 because of its many attractions. Of course, my personal opinion has some influence on this ranking, but if a country is listed here after the analysis of these 3 factors, it's because it really deserves. Additionally, in this ranking, we are not considering Spain, but only former colonies. In other episodes, we already talked a lot about Spain, and indeed, it's a very good country to visit. Curious? Time to start our ranking, and in 7th place, the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic receives more tourists per year than large countries like Brazil. There are many good reasons for them to figure in this ranking. I have been to white sand beaches of Punta Cana, and it's world class. That explains why so many wealthy pensioners often choose this place. It's also a very affordable travel destination for families. Local resorts have special packages for couples with kids, and the little ones will have plenty of entertainment. It's very easy to travel from the US to the Dominican Republic. Only JetBlue alone, my favorite US airline, travels to 4 destinations on the island. From Europe, you can also travel easily to places like Punta Cana. In addition to all these reasons, the Dominican Republic also has a unique Spanish dialect that is worth experiencing. If you're a Spanish speaker, you have a lot of fun trying to understand the locals. 6th place, El Salvador. Despite its turbulent history and decades of civil war, things already in the past, El Salvador has made significant strides to enhance its tourism sector and attract visitors from around the world. Notably, El Salvador has experienced a significant decrease in violence over the past 2 years. This positive trend has contributed to creating a safer environment to both residents and visitors, allowing tourists to explore the country's attractions with a great sense of security. We made an entire episode about the fantastic decrease in criminality in El Salvador. I left a link for this episode in the comment section. The country has splendid beaches along its Pacific coastline, which is renowned among surfers. El Salvador's rich cultural heritage is another good reason to visit the country. Its charming colonial towns such as Suchitoto and Concepcion de Ataco offer a glimpse into the nation's history, with well-preserved architecture, cobblestone streets, and colorful houses. El Salvador has its own distinct Spanish dialect, known as Salvadoran Spanish. Compared to some other Spanish-speaking countries, Salvadoran Spanish is considered relatively straightforward and easy to understand, making it the ideal place to practice Spanish. 50th place, Peru. One of the main draws of Peru is its archaeological treasures, notably the legendary Machu Picchu. This ancient Inca citadel nested in the Andes Mountains is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the world's new 7 wonders. It's also very inexpensive to visit. Another good point is that their food is simply wonderful. One of my favorite dishes ever is called ceviche, and Peruvians do the best ceviches. Lima, the Peruvian capital, has Michelin-star restaurants enough to rival any European capital. The Peruvian accent is generally considered clear and easy to understand, makes it favorable for language learners. 4th place, Chile. There is a risk that I'm impartial with Chile, since I lived 1 year there and it's one of the finest places that I had been. One of the main reasons to visit Chile is its breathtaking natural landscapes, from Patagonia in the south to the Atacama Desert in the north. It also topped the list of the best countries to live in Latin America, and that says something. By the way, we may soon make an episode about the best countries to live in Latin America. If this video you are watching reaches 100 likes, I will do it. The country also offers a diverse range of outdoor activities, including hiking and skiing. I learned to ski there in the resort of El Colorado, very close to the capital, Santiago. Chilean Spanish, and that is the Polanco part, is characterized by its rapid speech, unique pronunciation, and a variety of local slang words and expressions. For example, they tend to drop the final S in a lot of words. Chileans often use distinctive vocabulary and pronunciation, making their Spanish dialect not the easiest to understand. Now let's enter the podium, the top 3. However, before we begin, I would like to ask a small favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. 3rd place, Costa Rica. Probably no country in the world mastered the art of harnessing tourism for beneficial purposes while conserving its natural landscape like Costa Rica. The country has dedicated a significant portion of its land to protected areas, ensuring the preservation of its unique ecosystems. Visitors have the opportunity to engage in eco-friendly activities such as rainforest hikes and wildlife tours. Costa Rica also became a place to go for digital nomads due to the low cost of living. Costa Ricans, commonly referred as ticos, have a friendly and welcoming nature, and their Spanish dialect reflects that. Tico Spanish is characterized by a gentle and melodic rhythm, with a tendency to use diminutives and colloquial expressions. Compared to other Spanish-speaking countries, it's generally considered clear and easy to understand. 2nd place, Mexico. Mexico is one of the most visited countries in the world. Since in this ranking we are not considering Spain, many viewers would expect Mexico to top the list. Instead of writing about all the obvious strong points of Mexico, we will explain why it took the 2nd and not the 1st place. First, in the most tourist zones of Mexico, likely you will not hear much of the Spanish language. That was my experience at least. Most touristic areas target Americans and other foreign tourists, so nearly everyone speaks English and most things are written in English. Also, due to its proximity to the US, Mexico is not really a cheap place to visit during the high season, especially if we compare Mexico versus the 1st place in this ranking, which is very inexpensive. Concerning safety, Mexico has had its share of security challenges in certain areas, particularly near the border. Check our video about violence in Mexico, which I'll also leave in the comment section. Ready for the 1st place? The best Spanish-speaking country to visit is Argentina. Stunning landscapes, epic architecture in the capital Buenos Aires, and some seriously delicious food. From the mind-blowing glaciers in Patagonia to the insane Iguazu Falls, I spent part of my honeymoon there. This country, once I escape for war criminals, will leave you speechless. And I say that as a Brazilian. We are supposed to have some rivalry with Argentinian neighbors, but I'll not deny that their country is gorgeous. The food, the landscape, the culture, all that would be enough to put Argentina in this top 7. But here is what raised them to the 1st place. It's ridiculously cheap to visit Argentina right now. Their currency devaluated enormously against the dollar and euro. Due to the devaluation of the Argentine peso, the country and its capital Buenos Aires have become incredibly affordable destinations for international travelers. This means that accommodation, dining, transportation, and entertainment can be more budget-friendly compared to other destinations. It's your chance to stay in a 4-star hotel for the price of a hostel bed in Europe. Argentina is a huge country and therefore has multiple dialects. Buenos Aires is characterized by its unique pronunciation and vocabulary influenced by Italian immigrants who settled there. Meanwhile, in areas like Misiones, it carries indigenous influences. So if you want to know more about Argentina, including some jaw-dropping facts about the cost of living there, check this video here at your left.